Mercury, the smallest and fastest moving planet in the solar system, holds immense significance in astrology. Mercury governs communication, intelligence, reasoning, logic, and analytical abilities. It represents how an individual processes information, thinks, speaks, and interacts with the world intellectually. As a neutral planet, Mercury adapts to the influence of the signs and houses it occupies, shaping a person's intellect, learning capacity, and communication style. The placement of Mercury in different houses of a birth chart shapes a person's cognitive abilities, learning style, and communication skills. Depending on its position, aspects, and conjunctions with other planets, Mercury can manifest in different ways, influencing everything from social interactions to career choices and even financial management. If Mercury is well placed, the individual is likely to be articulate, logical, quick-witted, and an excellent problem solver. However, an afflicted Mercury can lead to difficulties in speech, misunderstandings, deceptive tendencies, anxiety, nervous disorders, or problems in decision-making. Mercury's role in astrology extends beyond communication and intellect. It governs trade, commerce, and financial transactions, making it a crucial planet for those engaged in business and negotiations. It also rules over technology, gadgets, writing, publishing, journalism, education, and the ability to learn new languages. Due to its strong connection with logic and analysis, Mercury is considered the planet of mathematicians, scientists, accountants, and strategists. People with a strong Mercury often excel in professions that require articulation, research, and quick decision-making. Mercury is associated with the celestial messenger, which reflects its role in transmitting knowledge and information. In Hindu mythology, Mercury is known as Budh, meaning wisdom, and is considered the son of the moon and Terra. This connection highlights Mercury's link to emotions and intellect, demonstrating how logical reasoning can be influenced by emotional intelligence. Mercury is also known for its dual nature. It can function as both a benefic and malefic planet depending on its associations, aspects, and house placement. Mercury governs the nervous system, speech, hands, and cognitive functions in medical astrology. A weak or afflicted Mercury can lead to problems related to communication, memory loss, anxiety, or even speech impediments. In extreme cases, it may contribute to neurological disorders or problems related to the respiratory system. Strengthening Mercury through remedies like engaging in intellectual activities or practicing mindfulness can help balance its negative effects. The movement of Mercury through the zodiac is fast and dynamic. It retrogrades 3 to 4 times a year, which is often considered a period of miscommunication, delays, confusion, and technological breakdowns. Mercury retrograde is a well-known astrological phenomenon that affects travel, contracts, negotiations, and overall clarity in thought processes. While it can bring obstacles, it also offers an opportunity for introspection, reviewing past decisions, and refining ideas before moving forward. Mercury's influence in the 12 houses of a birth chart varies widely. While its strength and impact depend on various factors, including the sign it occupies, its aspects with other planets, and its conjunctions, its general characteristics remain the same. In the first house, Mercury enhances intelligence, speech, and adaptability, making the person quick-witted and eloquent. In the second house, it impacts speech, wealth, and family communication. The third house placement makes an individual curious, communicative, and interested in travel or writing. The fourth house links Mercury to home, education, and mental stability, while the fifth house enhances creativity, analytical thinking, and intelligence in speculative fields. Mercury in the sixth house makes one skilled in problem-solving, while its placement in the seventh house affects relationships, partnerships, and communication with spouses or business associates. In the eighth house, Mercury delves into the mysteries of life, making one interested in occult sciences, psychology, or research. The ninth house placement connects Mercury with higher learning, philosophy, and long-distance travels, while the 10th house influences career, public image, and professional communication. The 11th house placement brings gains through intellectual efforts, while Mercury in the 12th house enhances imagination, intuition, and interest in spirituality or foreign affairs. Astrologically, Mercury's compatibility with other planets also plays a vital role in determining its strength. It is friendly with the Sun and Venus but shares a neutral relationship with Saturn and an inimical relationship with Mars. When conjunct with benefic planets, Mercury gains strength and contributes positively to intellect, communication, and business. However, if afflicted by malefic planets like Rahu, Ketu, or Mars, Mercury may lead to deception, anxiety, or difficulties in logical thinking. To enhance the power of Mercury in a birth chart, individuals can adopt specific remedies. Engaging in intellectual activities, improving communication skills, and practicing mindfulness can strengthen Mercury's positive influence. Maintaining honesty in speech and avoiding deceptive practices can further help balance Mercury's energy. With these contexts in mind, let us delve into the predictions for Mercury in different houses, without considering the influence of signs, nakshatra placements, conjunctions, or aspects. Mercury in the first house creates a personality that is characterized by intellectual sharpness, curiosity, and a natural aptitude for communication. Individuals with this placement often have an innate ability to articulate their thoughts clearly and concisely, whether through spoken words, written language, or other forms of expression. Their communicative skills are not limited to conventional methods. They may explore diverse channels such as art, performance, or media to convey their ideas. This versatility in expression often becomes a cornerstone of their identity, making them adept at connecting with others and sharing their insights. The first house governs the self, personality, and overall life path, while Mercury represents intellect, adaptability, and communication. When Mercury resides here, it bestows a youthful and charming demeanor. These individuals often appear younger than their actual age and may age gracefully, becoming more carefree and approachable with time. Their quick wit and sense of humor make them engaging conversationalists, often admired for their intelligence and sharp observational skills. People with Mercury in the first house are naturally inquisitive and analytical. They have a profound ability to absorb and retain information, which makes them quick learners and effective problem solvers. Their analytical nature, however, can sometimes lead them to overthink or approach emotional situations with excessive rationality. This tendency might make them seem detached in scenarios requiring empathy. Nonetheless, their logical mindset enables them to navigate challenges effectively and make well-informed decisions. This placement also indicates a strong inclination toward multitasking. Mercury's restless energy manifests in a desire to engage in multiple activities simultaneously. These individuals thrive in dynamic environments where they can utilize their versatility. They are likely to excel in careers involving communication, business, or education. Many with this placement develop entrepreneurial skills and often venture into business pursuits where their innovative ideas and strategic thinking bring success. Mercury in the first house enhances a person's physical agility and skillfulness. They may excel in activities requiring precision and coordination, such as sports or martial arts. Their ability to use their hands and body effectively is often notable, making them adept at crafts, artistry, or technical skills. This physical competence complements their mental agility, creating a well-rounded individual capable of excelling in various domains. From the first house, Mercury aspects the seventh house of partnerships, indicating a strong need for communication in relationships. These individuals seek partners who are intellectually stimulating and enjoy engaging conversations. A communicative and understanding spouse becomes a crucial aspect of their happiness. In business partnerships, they gravitate toward ventures that involve extensive communication, such as marketing, customer service, or public relations. Their ability to articulate ideas and negotiate effectively often makes them successful collaborators. Mercury in the first house can also indicate an innate love for travel. Whether for leisure or work, these individuals find joy in exploring new places and engaging with diverse cultures. This mobility aligns with Mercury's nature as a messenger, constantly on the move. Even short trips can provide them with the stimulation they crave, as they dislike stagnation and prefer environments that offer variety and excitement. The placement of Mercury in the first house often gives individuals a heightened awareness of details. They may have a habit of counting or analyzing seemingly trivial aspects of their surroundings. This meticulousness can be both a strength and a challenge. While it helps them excel in fields requiring precision, it may also lead to overanalysis or perfectionism, which can cause unnecessary stress. If Mercury is strong and well-aspect, it enhances the native's ability to process information logically and articulate thoughts eloquently. They may master multiple languages, possess a wealth of knowledge on diverse topics, and impress others with their intellectual prowess. However, afflictions to Mercury can manifest as nervousness, indecisiveness, or excessive self-criticism. In such cases, these individuals may struggle with confidence in their communication skills or face ridicule for their ideas. Emotionally, individuals with Mercury in the first house may experience a transformative journey. Early in life, they might rely heavily on their intellect to navigate emotional situations, potentially suppressing their feelings. Over time, however, life experiences, including shocks or setbacks, may teach them the importance of balancing logic with empathy. This growth often leads to a more integrated and mature approach to life. The need for validation is another prominent trait of this placement. People with Mercury in the first house often seek recognition for their ideas and efforts. They feel energized and motivated when their intellect is acknowledged and appreciated. This need for validation, while natural, can become a source of frustration if unmet. Learning to self-validate and trust their abilities can help them overcome this dependency on external approval. In relationships and interactions, these individuals often captivate others with their charm and eloquence. Their preference for intellectual stimulation extends to their romantic life, where they may find themselves drawn to partners with engaging voices or strong communication skills. Hands and gestures may also hold a unique allure for them, reflecting Mercury's association with manual dexterity. On a spiritual level, Mercury in the first house encourages self-awareness and growth through intellectual pursuits. These individuals often find solace and inspiration in exploring philosophical or metaphysical topics. Their analytical minds enable them to dissect complex ideas and derive meaningful insights. If they channel their mental energy towards spiritual practices, they can achieve profound clarity and wisdom. The direction strength of Mercury in the first house enhances the native's logical reasoning and decision-making abilities. They are natural strategists, capable of devising innovative solutions to complex problems. This quality is particularly prominent in Virgo ascendants, where Mercury's influence is exalted. For such individuals, their intellect becomes a defining feature of their personality, guiding them towards success in various endeavors. Overall, Mercury in the first house is a dynamic placement that shapes a person's personality, intellect, and life path. It fosters a love for communication, a youthful charm, and an insatiable curiosity for learning. These individuals are quick-witted, versatile, and highly intelligent, often making significant contributions to their chosen fields. While challenges such as overanalysis or a need for validation may arise, their inherent adaptability and resilience enable them to overcome obstacles and thrive. Through self-awareness and balance, they can harness Mercury's energy to achieve personal and professional fulfillment. Mercury in the second house of a birth chart has profound implications on communication, finance, values, and self-worth. As Mercury governs intellect, speech, and business acumen, its placement in the second house brings a sharp, logical, and analytical mind to matters related to wealth, possessions, and verbal expression. These individuals tend to put a great deal of thought into their financial security, ensuring that they develop a calculated approach to earning, spending, and saving money. While they may have a strong business-oriented mindset, their inclination towards intellectual and communicative pursuits also plays a vital role in shaping their approach to wealth accumulation. The second house represents family, lineage, and inherited values, and Mercury's presence here suggests that the native comes from an environment where communication plays a central role. This could mean being raised in a household where discussions, debates, and intellectual exchanges were encouraged. There is a likelihood of having family members engaged in professions related to teaching, writing, public speaking, or business. These individuals often enjoy bantering with their family and may grow up in a household that values knowledge and intellectual discussions. The early childhood environment influences their thinking, making them highly articulate and giving them a strong command over language from a young age. As Mercury governs speech and logic, people with this placement tend to be very selective about what they say, often aiming to communicate in the most effective and precise manner. They may also possess the ability to modulate their voice skillfully, making them persuasive speakers. This talent for vocal modulation allows them to be adept in professions that require strong communication skills, such as public speaking, singing, teaching, or sales. If well supported by benefic planets like Jupiter or Venus, Mercury in this house can bestow an exceptionally melodious voice, making the individual successful in fields like singing or voice-over artistry. The examples of famous singers with significant planetary influences in their second house further emphasize how Mercury here enhances vocal talents. Mercury also governs commerce and business skills, and when placed in the second house, it creates a natural inclination towards entrepreneurship, marketing, and financial management. These individuals often have a mental ledger of their income and expenses, even if they do not physically document it. They possess an innate ability to analyze and strategize financial matters, making them efficient in handling money, investments, and negotiations. As a result, they are well suited for careers in finance, accounting, wealth management, and other fields that require strong analytical skills. They are also adept at identifying profitable ventures and have a keen eye for financial opportunities. One of the less discussed but intriguing aspects of Mercury in the second house is its influence on eating habits and preferences. The second house governs food and dietary choices, and since Mercury is a mutable and intellectual planet, it brings a preference for variety and experimentation in food. These individuals may enjoy trying different cuisines or have an inclination toward balanced and well-planned meals. They are likely to avoid junk food and be particular about what they consume, ensuring that their diet aligns with their health and wellness goals. If Mercury is influenced by Rahu or connected to 12th house, It may indicate an interest in foreign cuisines or even proficiency in multiple languages related to different cultures. Mercury's aspect on the 8th house from the 2nd house brings a curiosity for hidden knowledge, mysteries, and occult sciences. This aspect can manifest as an interest in astrology, psychology, metaphysics, or any subject that involves deep research and investigation. These individuals may find themselves drawn to exploring esoteric subjects, seeking to uncover hidden truths and gain deeper insights into life's mysteries. If Mercury is well placed and supported by other planets, they can become excellent researchers, investigators, or even astrologers who use their logical minds to interpret complex concepts. However, Mercury in the 2nd house also brings certain challenges. Because Mercury is a planet that adapts to its surroundings, individuals with this placement may sometimes alter their speech to suit different situations, which can make them appear inconsistent or even manipulative. If Mercury is afflicted, they may have a tendency to bend the truth, exaggerate, or use their words to serve their own interests. This can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or conflicts, particularly in close relationships. It is important for them to remain mindful of their words and ensure that their communication remains honest and constructive. Another notable trait of this placement is its impact on the individual's sense of self-worth. Mercury's influence on the 2nd house means that their self-esteem is often tied to their intellectual abilities, communication skills, and financial status. They may measure their value based on their ability to articulate their thoughts effectively or their capacity to manage wealth successfully. This can sometimes lead to overthinking and excessive worry about their financial stability or public perception. It is crucial for them to develop a balanced approach to self-worth, recognizing that their value extends beyond their material achievements and verbal skills. In terms of relationships, Mercury in the 2nd house suggests that siblings, friends, and peer groups play a significant role in shaping their values and thought processes. These individuals often engage in intellectual discussions with their close circles and enjoy exchanging ideas. They may also seek validation through verbal affirmation and intellectual stimulation in their relationships. Because of their articulate nature, they can sometimes come across as overly critical or analytical, which can create tension if not tempered with emotional sensitivity. Career-wise, this placement supports professions that require strong verbal, analytical, and business skills. These individuals can thrive as financial advisors, writers, teachers, public speakers, journalists, traders, or sales professionals. Their ability to articulate complex ideas clearly makes them effective communicators, and their logical mindset allows them to excel in fields that require strategic thinking. If they channel their intellectual abilities constructively, they can achieve significant financial success and recognition in their chosen field. From a remedial perspective, individuals with Mercury in the 2nd house can benefit from strengthening their Mercury through maintaining honesty in speech, and developing ethical financial habits can help mitigate any negative influences of Mercury. Practicing mindfulness and focusing on self-worth beyond material success can bring greater emotional balance and fulfillment. Overall, Mercury in the 2nd house is a powerful placement that bestows intelligence, eloquence, and financial acumen. These individuals have a natural talent for communication and possess an analytical mind that aids them in managing wealth and navigating business ventures successfully. While they have the ability to use their words effectively, it is essential for them to cultivate honesty and emotional awareness in their communication. Their curiosity for knowledge, keen financial instincts, and persuasive abilities can lead them to great success, provided they balance their intellect with ethical considerations and emotional sensitivity. The placement of Mercury in the 3rd house offers a unique combination of intellectual prowess, communication skills, and a proclivity for business and creativity. This alignment highlights a personality that thrives on intellectual pursuits and dynamic interactions. Governed by Mercury, the natural significator of intellect, communication, and logic, this house finds a comfortable synergy with Mercury's energies, amplifying its traits in the native. Mercury's placement in the 3rd house makes the native a natural communicator. They are adept at expressing their thoughts with clarity and persuasion, often becoming influential speakers, writers, or media personalities. Their ability to articulate ideas effectively extends beyond verbal communication, making them skilled in writing, social media, and digital platforms. These individuals have a knack for connecting with others, whether through a well-phrased argument, a witty remark, or a carefully crafted written piece. Their communication style tends to be both engaging and impactful, often leaving a lasting impression on their audience. One of the standout traits of individuals with Mercury in the 3rd house is their quick-witted nature. They have a sharp intellect that allows them to process and respond to information rapidly. This mental agility is particularly beneficial in professions or situations requiring quick decision-making, such as stock trading, sales, or sports. However, the presence of aspects from planets like Saturn may slow this quickness, leading to more deliberate and calculated decision-making. This duality highlights the importance of assessing the overall planetary aspects in the chart to gauge the intensity of Mercury's influence. These natives are often drawn to intellectual and creative hobbies. They enjoy puzzles, riddles, and activities that challenge their minds. Their love for collecting information is another hallmark trait. They are avid learners who may amass a wealth of knowledge on various topics. This intellectual curiosity often extends to technology, making them tech-savvy and quick adopters of new gadgets and tools. Their interests may lead them to explore careers in fields like journalism, content creation, marketing, or even law, where their communication and analytical skills shine. The connection between Mercury and the third house also fosters an entrepreneurial spirit. This alignment suggests a strong inclination toward business, especially ventures that revolve around communication, such as sales, marketing, advertising, or public relations. These natives are persuasive and charismatic, making them excellent salespeople who can effortlessly pitch ideas or products. Their ability to understand and respond to the needs of their audience gives them a competitive edge in business and negotiation. The third house, being the Karaka of siblings, highlights the natives' relationships with their brothers and sisters, especially younger ones. If Mercury is well placed and unafflicted, the native shares a harmonious and communicative relationship with their siblings. These siblings may also be intelligent, youthful, or business-minded. Conversely, afflictions from malefic planets like Mars can lead to verbal disagreements, indicating a need to maintain balance and harmony in these relationships. A unique feature of this placement is the potential for artistic or physical dexterity. Mercury in the third house often enhances fine motor skills, making these individuals talented in areas requiring precision and control, such as playing musical instruments, crafting, or even voice modulation. This placement is particularly favorable for careers in voice acting, mimicry, or professions that involve intricate hand skills, such as graphic design or animation. When Mercury aspects the ninth house, it adds a philosophical and intellectual dimension to the native's personality. This aspect can make them inclined toward fields like law or astrology, where analytical thinking and the ability to synthesize complex information are essential. The ninth house's association with higher learning and wisdom further supports this inclination, making the native a seeker of knowledge and a potential guide or teacher for others. Socially, Mercury in the third house endows the native with charm and a youthful demeanor. They are smooth talkers who can effortlessly navigate social interactions. This makes them popular among peers and highly sought after for their ability to entertain and engage others. Their humorous and flirty nature adds to their appeal, making them natural comedians or entertainers. However, this same charm can sometimes manifest as manipulative tendencies if Mercury's energy is misused or afflicted. A fascinating aspect of this placement is its influence on how the native is perceived by others. Mercury in the third house, especially in Scorpio or similar signs, can make the native a subject of fascination and gossip. Others may be intrigued by their life, often spreading rumors or speculating about their experiences. This dynamic underscores the importance of maintaining authenticity and transparency in interactions to counteract any potential misunderstandings or false narratives. This placement also emphasizes the importance of maintaining good karma with siblings and close associates. Mercury's association with the third house indicates that harmonious relationships with younger siblings can significantly impact the native's overall well-being and success. Ensuring open communication and mutual support in these relationships can amplify Mercury's positive effects and create a strong foundation for personal growth. In terms of challenges, Mercury in the third house may sometimes lead to restlessness or an overactive mind. These individuals are constantly brimming with ideas, which can make it difficult for them to focus or commit to a single project for long. Learning to channel this energy constructively, perhaps through mindfulness or structured routines, can help them harness their full potential. For natives with planets conjunct Mercury in the third house, the placement takes on unique shades. A Venus conjunction enhances artistic and poetic abilities, making the native inclined toward creative writing, songwriting, or other artistic endeavors. On the other hand, Saturn's influence can temper Mercury's quickness, leading to more measured and thoughtful communication. While this may initially manifest as a struggle to articulate ideas, it ultimately fosters depth and precision in expression. Overall, Mercury in the third house is a powerful placement that blends intellect, communication, and creativity. It creates a dynamic individual who thrives on interaction, knowledge, and self-expression. Whether as a writer, speaker, entrepreneur, or artist, this native has the potential to leave a significant impact on their chosen field. By nurturing positive relationships, focusing their mental energy, and leveraging their communication skills, they can achieve remarkable success and fulfillment in life. This placement also highlights the importance of considering the broader chart dynamics, as planetary aspects and conjunctions can significantly influence Mercury's manifestation in the third house. Mercury in the 4th house brings a highly communicative and intellectual environment within the home. This placement indicates a person who has grown up in a household where intellectual discussions, debates, and the exchange of ideas were commonplace. The presence of Mercury here suggests that the native has an inherent curiosity and a deep appreciation for knowledge from an early age. As the 4th house represents home, family, and early education, having Mercury here implies that these aspects of life are strongly influenced by logic, learning, and communication. One of the most notable impacts of Mercury in this house is its influence on childhood and upbringing. The individual is likely to have had a playful and intellectually stimulating childhood, surrounded by books, discussions, and a learning-friendly atmosphere. The native's parents, especially the mother, tend to be well-educated, articulate, and possibly involved in professions requiring strong communication skills such as teaching, writing, or business. A mother with sharp intelligence and business acumen may guide the native towards valuing education and financial prudence. In many cases, the mother acts as a mentor or friend rather than a strict authoritative figure, ensuring that learning is an enjoyable experience rather than an obligation. The native's home environment is characterized by constant communication and mental stimulation. There is a preference for homes that have a library or spaces dedicated to study and intellectual pursuits. Such individuals often grow up in homes where multiple interests are encouraged, and they may have been involved in various extracurricular activities such as debating clubs, literary societies, or other intellectual groups. Socializing is a key aspect of their life, and they tend to form close bonds with family members, enjoying discussions and sharing ideas on different topics. With Mercury in the 4th house, communication plays a pivotal role in family dynamics. The individual values open discussions and the exchange of ideas when it comes to decision-making in the household. They often seek the opinions of their family members before making important choices, and a lack of communication within the home can create distress for them. If Mercury is well placed, these individuals will have a harmonious and lively family environment, whereas afflictions to Mercury can lead to misunderstandings, frequent arguments, or even verbal disputes within the home. This placement also influences the native's early education. They are usually bright students with a natural inclination towards subjects requiring logic and analysis, such as mathematics, science, or linguistics. Their ability to grasp information quickly and retain knowledge is remarkable. If Mercury is well supported, they tend to excel in academic settings, often standing out for their wit and sharp memory. Such individuals might have a habit of reading extensively, and may even maintain a vast collection of books or digital resources for learning. Another important aspect of Mercury in the 4th house is its influence on career. Since Mercury aspects the 10th house of career from the 4th house, there is a strong possibility of professions linked to communication, education, counseling, and even politics. Many individuals with this placement take up careers related to teaching, writing, journalism, astrology, or business. They might also have a home-based career, as Mercury's presence in the house of home makes them inclined toward professions that allow them to work remotely or within familiar surroundings. Running a business from home is a common trait seen with this placement, as Mercury is also a significator of commerce and trade. Mercury's influence also extends to an individual's ability to manage their household effectively. This placement provides excellent management skills, making them adept at handling finances and ensuring that resources are utilized efficiently. Even with limited finances, such individuals can manage household expenses wisely, making the best use of what they have. This natural skill in financial management often extends beyond their personal lives and can make them successful in careers related to business administration, accounting, or financial consulting. There is also a strong connection between Mercury in the 4th house and frequent movement in early life. Many natives with this placement experience frequent relocations due to their parents' careers, personal circumstances, or the family's preference for a dynamic lifestyle. If Mercury is afflicted, constant movement might lead to a sense of instability and unsettlement, making it difficult for the individual to establish deep-rooted connections in one place. However, if Mercury is well placed, these relocations contribute positively to the person's adaptability, allowing them to embrace change and learn from different cultural and intellectual environments. Interestingly, Mercury in the 4th house also plays a role in shaping the individual's interests in real estate, home decor, and interior design. Their analytical mind and love for organization make them skilled in optimizing living spaces. They may have a keen interest in home architecture, property investment, or designing homes that enhance functionality and aesthetics. Their ability to create compact and efficient spaces is particularly noticeable, and they may even pursue a career related to architecture, interior design, or real estate consultancy. Mercury is also associated with astrology itself, and its placement in the 4th house suggests that the native may have a strong interest in metaphysics, astrology, and esoteric sciences. They may use their logical thinking and analytical skills to study astrology, making them skilled in interpreting charts and providing guidance to others. Since Mercury represents counseling, and the fourth house relates to home and emotions, these individuals can become excellent career counselors, guiding others on their professional paths while also helping people find emotional stability through their advice. Mercury's placement in a Kendra house, 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th, is considered significant in Vedic astrology. If Mercury is exalted or in its own sign, Gemini or Virgo, it bestows remarkable intelligence, communication abilities, and talents. Such individuals are often distinguished for their wit, articulation, and quick-thinking nature. However, if Mercury is afflicted by malefic aspects, the native may struggle with being taken seriously or may face ridicule for their intellectual pursuits. In such cases, they must work on refining their communication skills and avoiding superficiality in their speech. Overall, Mercury in the fourth house shapes an individual into an intelligent, curious, and communicative person who thrives in intellectually stimulating environments. Their home and family play a vital role in their mental and emotional well-being, and they find peace in environments where knowledge and communication are valued. This placement grants them an adaptable mind, a love for learning, and a strong inclination towards careers that involve speech, writing, business, or counseling. If Mercury is well placed, the person enjoys a harmonious family life filled with intellectual engagement. But if afflicted, they may experience verbal disputes and emotional instability within the home. Either way, Mercury's influence ensures that their life revolves around the pursuit of knowledge and meaningful conversations. Mercury in the fifth house bestows a sharp intellect, a keen interest in learning, and an exceptional ability to communicate ideas creatively. This placement naturally aligns with the qualities of the fifth house, which governs creativity, intelligence, education, romance, children, and speculative ventures. The native is highly articulate, witty, and possesses an innate ability to grasp and retain complex information. Their learning process is enhanced through communication, making them excellent students, scholars, and individuals with an insatiable curiosity for knowledge. The presence of Mercury in this house suggests that the individual is deeply connected to their education and intellectual pursuits. They tend to excel in subjects related to mathematics, science, literature, and linguistics. As Mercury represents logic and reasoning, these individuals have a structured approach to problem-solving and analysis. If Mercury is well placed, it can lead to a career in academia, writing, journalism, or research. However, if Mercury is afflicted by malefic planets like Saturn, Mars, or Rahu, it can create mental restlessness, difficulties in concentrating, and distractions in studies. A strong Mercury in the fifth house enhances the native's ability to express themselves through various creative outlets. These individuals often have a knack for storytelling, poetry, songwriting, or script writing. Their writing style is engaging, witty, and capable of captivating an audience. If Mercury is associated with Venus or positioned in an artistic sign such as Taurus, Libra, or Pisces, it further amplifies their creative abilities, making them natural entertainers, artists, or media personalities. Romance and relationships play a significant role in their lives. The fifth house governs love affairs, and Mercury here makes the native flirtatious, playful, and youthful in their romantic pursuits. They are naturally attracted to partners who are intellectually stimulating and enjoy deep, meaningful conversations. These individuals often have multiple love interests before settling down and may struggle with indecisiveness in choosing a partner. However, their charm and humor make them highly sought after in romantic relationships. If Mercury is afflicted, it may lead to misunderstandings, miscommunication, or inconsistency in relationships. Mercury's aspect on the 11th house brings gains through networking, social interactions, and intellectual collaborations. These individuals are likely to benefit financially from their intelligence and communication skills. Whether it's through writing, speaking, stock trading, or entrepreneurship, they have the potential to accumulate wealth by leveraging their knowledge. They are skilled at analyzing trends, making strategic financial decisions, and engaging in speculative activities like the stock market or gambling. However, if Mercury is weak or afflicted, it can lead to impulsive financial decisions or losses in speculative ventures. Children and their relationship with them are significantly influenced by this placement. Mercury in the fifth house indicates intelligent, talkative, and curious children. The native enjoys engaging in intellectual discussions with their kids and encourages them to develop critical thinking skills. There is a playful and youthful connection between the native and their children, making them more of a friend than a strict parent. If Mercury is afflicted, however, it may indicate communication gaps or misunderstandings between the native and their children. The fifth house also represents entertainment, creativity, and recreational activities. Individuals with this placement often have multiple hobbies and are skilled in various forms of artistic expression. They may have a natural inclination toward music, painting, acting, or filmmaking. Mercury also represents technological skills, so they may be adept at using digital tools for creative pursuits. These individuals are quick learners when it comes to technology and may excel in fields like graphic design, digital content creation, and online media. They often receive recognition or awards for their creative talents. A notable feature of this placement is the strong ability to influence others through speech. Whether it's through teaching, public speaking, or persuasive writing, these individuals can effectively communicate their ideas and leave a lasting impact. They may also have a deep interest in ancient texts, philosophy, and astrology, often studying these subjects to gain deeper insights into life. If Mercury is conjunct Jupiter or placed in a sign ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius or Pisces, this inclination toward higher learning and spiritual wisdom is further enhanced. Health-wise, the native must be mindful of digestive issues, as the 5th house is associated with the stomach. Mercury's influence can lead to nervous digestion, acidity, or problems related to an overactive mind. They should be cautious about their diet and avoid excessive consumption of outside or junk food. Maintaining a balanced and healthy lifestyle is essential to prevent gastrointestinal issues. The placement of Mercury in the 5th house indicates a strong influence on one's past life and karmic patterns. There may be a connection to learning and knowledge from previous incarnations, which manifests as an innate intellectual curiosity in this lifetime. Some individuals with this placement may resemble their maternal relatives, particularly an aunt or maternal uncle. This suggests a familial connection through shared traits or physical resemblance. The individual's speech patterns and mannerisms are also shaped by this placement. They have a unique way of speaking that draws people in and holds their attention. If Mercury is in a strong position, they possess exceptional convincing power, which can be beneficial in careers that require negotiation, sales, or public relations. However, if Mercury is afflicted, they may struggle with over-explaining or becoming overly analytical in their speech. As Mercury governs analytical thinking and technical skills, these individuals are likely to have an interest in technical analysis, particularly in financial markets. They excel in decoding stock market trends, engaging in day trading, and understanding financial charts. Their ability to analyze patterns and make data-driven decisions makes them highly successful in speculative business ventures. If Mercury is the lord of the 11th or 2nd houses and connects with the 5th house, it further amplifies their potential for financial success through investments and trading. Overall, Mercury in the 5th house is an excellent placement for intelligence, creativity, communication, and financial growth. These individuals are naturally gifted with a quick mind, a witty sense of humor, and an ability to captivate others with their words. They excel in careers that involve education, media, writing, public speaking, or speculative ventures. Their romantic relationships are playful and full of engaging conversations, and they often seek partners who challenge them intellectually. Their connection with children is strong, and they take joy in sharing knowledge with the younger generation. While this placement brings numerous advantages, it is essential to manage its potential challenges, such as mental restlessness, indecisiveness, and impulsiveness in financial matters. By harnessing their intellectual potential and channeling it effectively, these individuals can achieve remarkable success in various aspects of life. When Mercury occupies the 6th house in a Vedic birth chart, it bestows a unique combination of intellectual sharpness, attention to detail, and a focus on work and service. The 6th house, being one of the Dashtana houses, governs challenges such as enemies, diseases, debts, and conflicts. At the same time, it also represents daily routines, colleagues, pets, and health. Mercury, the planet of communication, logic, and intellect, brings its versatile energies to this sphere, shaping the native's life in profound ways. This placement often creates a personality that is highly meticulous and detail-oriented. People with Mercury in the 6th house tend to excel in environments that require precision, organization, and analytical skills. They are likely to thrive in roles involving writing, teaching, research, or any profession requiring a keen intellect and the ability to articulate thoughts clearly. Their work ethic is often impeccable, and they take great pride in their ability to navigate complex tasks efficiently. However, if Mercury is afflicted in this house, the native may struggle with anxiety, overthinking, or even health issues related to the nervous system. Mercury's placement here makes individuals natural problem solvers. They have an innate ability to identify flaws in systems and processes, which makes them valuable assets in any professional setting. This quality is particularly pronounced in corporate roles, where resolving conflicts and managing day-to-day operations are crucial. As communicators, they possess a sharp wit and a talent for negotiation, making them adept at office politics and handling disputes. However, if not well aspected, this same sharpness can turn critical or overly analytical, leading to strained relationships with colleagues. In the legal field, Mercury's association with communication and intellect can make the native an excellent lawyer or mediator. The sixth house's connection to disputes and litigation complements Mercury's ability to analyze, articulate, and present arguments effectively. Similarly, in the medical field, this placement is favorable for careers involving health counseling or diagnostics, as it combines the sixth house's focus on healing with Mercury's analytical prowess. Service is a key theme for individuals with Mercury in the sixth house, whether through direct involvement in helping underprivileged people, working with animals, or contributing to societal well-being. These natives find fulfillment in roles that allow them to serve others. This placement can also manifest in a love for pets or a strong connection to animals, reflecting the sixth house's domain. Mercury's influence in this house extends to health and daily routines. Natives often have a strong focus on maintaining order in their lives, and they may adopt disciplined habits related to diet, exercise, and hygiene. However, an afflicted Mercury can lead to stress-related health issues, such as migraines, nervous tension, or digestive disorders. These individuals are also prone to overwork and may need to consciously balance their professional and personal lives to avoid burnout. Interpersonal relationships in the workplace can vary significantly depending on the condition of Mercury. If well aspected, the native may enjoy harmonious relationships with colleagues and even develop strong friendships at work. On the other hand, a poorly aspect Mercury might create misunderstandings or conflicts, making the native appear overly critical or insensitive. Their high standards and intolerance for incompetence can further complicate workplace dynamics. On a personal level, Mercury in the sixth house can make individuals highly self-critical. They may set unrealistic expectations for themselves and experience dissatisfaction when these are not met. This perfectionist streak, while driving them to excel, can also lead to unnecessary stress and a tendency to focus on flaws rather than achievements. It is important for these natives to learn self-compassion and recognize the value of their efforts without succumbing to excessive self-judgment. The influence of Mercury in the sixth house also extends to the native's communication style. They are often witty, observant, and capable of delivering sharp humor. Their heightened observational skills allow them to pick up on details that others might overlook, making them excellent storytellers or commentators. However, this same quality can sometimes make them seem blunt or insensitive, particularly when they voice criticisms. A unique feature of Mercury's placement in this house is its ability to manifest physical marks, such as moles or beauty spots, in the areas of the body associated with the sixth house in the native's chart. These physical indicators are said to signify Mercury's influence in the life of the individual. The dual nature of Mercury means that its placement in the sixth house brings both positive and negative traits. While it enhances the native's intellectual and professional capabilities, it also makes them prone to stress and anxiety. Striking a balance between work and relaxation is crucial for maintaining their overall well-being. This placement also influences financial matters. The sixth house's association with debts means that natives may have a propensity to take loans, sometimes juggling multiple financial obligations simultaneously. When positively aspected, this can lead to financial acumen and success in managing resources. However, if afflicted, it can result in financial instability or difficulties in repaying debts. Family dynamics may also be influenced by this placement. Mercury in the sixth house can create conflicts or misunderstandings with relatives, particularly maternal uncles. However, these conflicts are often temporary and can be resolved through effective communication. In terms of spiritual growth, Mercury in the sixth house encourages the native to find meaning in service and routine. By focusing on their duties and responsibilities, they develop a sense of purpose that transcends mundane concerns. This placement teaches the importance of discipline, humility, and the ability to adapt to life's challenges with grace and resilience. Overall, Mercury in the sixth house shapes a personality that is industrious, intelligent, and service-oriented. These individuals are driven by a desire to excel in their chosen fields and to contribute meaningfully to society. While they may face challenges such as anxiety, overwork, or interpersonal conflicts, their innate strengths and adaptability allow them to overcome these obstacles. With conscious effort and self-awareness, they can harness the positive aspects of this placement to lead fulfilling and impactful lives. As always, the overall impact of Mercury in the sixth house depends on its aspects, conjunctions, and the broader context of the natal chart. Mercury in the seventh house brings an intellectual and communicative dynamic to relationships, making the native prioritize mental compatibility above all else. You are someone who seeks a partner with whom you can engage in deep conversations, share ideas, and constantly learn. Love for you feels like an extension of friendship. There has to be a strong foundation of understanding and mental stimulation for a relationship to truly work. You are naturally drawn to youthful, witty, and articulate individuals, and your spouse may exhibit traits of curiosity, intelligence, and a busy mind. It is not uncommon for natives with this placement to marry someone they have known since childhood, or to develop strong friendships before entering into romantic relationships. Your approach to relationships is logical rather than emotional, making you the one who brings reason and rationality into conflicts. While this is beneficial in many ways, it can sometimes make your partner feel as though they are not getting enough emotional depth from you. Mercury is a planet of adaptability and intellect, and when placed in the house of marriage and partnerships, it brings a strong focus on communication. This means you thrive in relationships where open discussion is encouraged, but it also means you may struggle with deeper emotional intimacy if your partner expects a more heartfelt connection. Since the 7th house represents the marketplace, agreements, and partnerships, Mercury's influence here makes you highly skilled in negotiation and business dealings. You have a natural ability to understand market trends, communicate effectively with others, and create beneficial agreements. This makes you well suited for professions related to law, sales, marketing, public relations, and counseling. In particular, you may excel as a legal advisor or marriage counselor since you can logically analyze the complexities of human relationships and offer rational solutions. Your business acumen is also sharp, and you have an entrepreneurial spirit that can help you build successful partnerships in commerce. The presence of Mercury in the 7th house can also indicate that your spouse or business partner has a strong mercurial influence in their personality. They might be involved in writing, journalism, teaching, or any profession related to communication and intellect. Your partner may have a youthful appearance or mindset, regardless of their age, and they are likely to be highly talkative and expressive. There is a possibility that they may even mimic your way of speaking or adopt similar communication styles over time. Because of this intellectual synergy, you may find yourself discussing work, business, or intellectual pursuits even in your personal life, which could sometimes make the relationship feel more like a business arrangement than a romantic partnership. With Mercury's dual nature, there is also the potential for multiple significant relationships in life. This could manifest in different ways, perhaps having one serious relationship before marriage or experiencing changes in partnerships throughout life. In some cases, this placement is linked to flirtatious tendencies or having relationships that are based more on intellectual stimulation rather than deep emotional bonds. If Mercury is afflicted in the chart, it can indicate difficulties in committing to one person or experiencing misunderstandings and miscommunication in partnerships. In terms of personal reputation, Mercury in the 7th house makes you well-liked and sociable. You have a natural charm and an ability to engage in witty conversations, which makes people gravitate toward you. You are the type of person who can walk into a room and immediately start a conversation with anyone, making you popular among peers and acquaintances. If Mercury is in its own sign, Gemini or Virgo, you may gain significant recognition for your intelligence and communication skills, possibly becoming known in your field for your analytical mind and ability to articulate ideas clearly. However, if Mercury is negatively aspected, there could be instances where people misunderstand you, or you may experience ridicule connected to your speech, writing, or general communication style. Your marriage and partnerships are likely to involve travel, discussions, and constant intellectual exchanges. Since Mercury rules movement and transactions, there could be a lot of travel involved in your relationships, whether for business purposes or simply because you and your partner enjoy exploring new places together. You may also have a partner who is constantly on the phone, texting, or engaged in intellectual discussions. At times, this can create a sense of detachment in the relationship, where both partners are so involved in external communication that they forget to nurture the emotional bond between them. The 7th house is also one of the wealth-giving houses, and with Mercury here, financial gains often come through business partnerships, trade, and contractual agreements. You have a talent for managing finances through negotiation and strategic thinking, and your spouse may also contribute to financial success through their intellectual abilities. If well-placed, Mercury can indicate a spouse from a well-off family or a background that brings financial benefits to the marriage. However, if Mercury is afflicted, financial instability due to miscommunication in business dealings or legal disputes could arise. One of the challenges with Mercury in the 7th house is that it can delay emotional maturity in relationships. You may take longer to fully understand the depth of commitment and responsibility that comes with marriage or long-term partnerships. Early relationships may be characterized by intellectual exploration rather than deep emotional bonding, but with time, you become more thoughtful and capable of forming lasting connections. This is especially true if Mercury is influenced by stabilizing planets like Saturn, which can eventually bring maturity and structure to your relationships. If Mercury is retrograde in the 7th house, you may have a tendency to overanalyze relationships, constantly thinking about what could go wrong or whether you are making the right decision. This can create indecisiveness when it comes to commitment, making it difficult for you to fully settle into a long-term relationship. You may also spend a lot of time thinking about past relationships and analyzing what went wrong, which can sometimes prevent you from moving forward. In a broader sense, Mercury in the 7th house makes you someone who thrives on intellectual exchanges with others. Whether in marriage, business, or social interactions, you are constantly learning and sharing knowledge. Your relationships are rarely dull because there is always something new to discuss, and you bring a sense of curiosity and liveliness to any partnership. However, it is important to balance this intellectual focus with emotional depth, ensuring that your relationships do not become too transactional or mentally exhausting. Overall, this placement gives you a sharp mind, strong communication skills, and the ability to connect with a wide range of people. Whether in love, business, or social settings, you have a natural gift for engaging others and forming meaningful partnerships. By embracing both intellect and emotion in your relationships, you can build lasting connections that go beyond just words and ideas. Mercury in the 8th house is a complex placement that imbues the native with a deep, analytical, and often secretive mindset. This is the house of transformation, mysteries, occult knowledge, shared resources, and hidden matters. When Mercury, the planet of intellect and communication, is placed here, it manifests in unique ways that impact the native's speech, thought process, relationships, and career choices. Individuals with Mercury in the 8th house tend to be highly secretive and reclusive, preferring to keep their thoughts and plans hidden from the world. They are not the type to share their ideas openly. Instead, they carefully assess situations before speaking. This may make them seem mysterious or even shady to others, as they rarely disclose their true motives. Their communication style is deeply complex, layered, and sometimes enigmatic, making it difficult for others to fully grasp their intentions. These individuals often prefer written forms of communication over verbal ones, as they like to carefully craft their messages. They may also dislike talking on the phone in front of others, often stepping away to maintain privacy. The 8th house is associated with hidden knowledge and the occult, and Mercury's presence here creates an individual who is naturally drawn to uncovering secrets. These natives have a powerful investigative mind and a deep curiosity for esoteric subjects such as astrology, metaphysics, psychology, and forensic science. They may be passionate about research and can spend countless hours unraveling mysteries. This makes them excellent detectives, investigative journalists, psychologists, or even astrologers. Their ability to see beyond the surface allows them to decode hidden patterns and understand what others may overlook. However, this relentless curiosity can also lead them into dark territories, and they may become obsessed with conspiracy theories or unsettling truths. People with this placement often have a sharp, strategic intellect, which can make them cunning. They know how to use information to their advantage, and if Mercury is afflicted, they may be prone to manipulation or unethical behavior. Their ability to read people is uncanny, allowing them to sense others' intentions and emotions with ease. This can be both a strength and a challenge, as their skeptical and doubtful nature may lead them to mistrust others easily. While they are excellent at keeping secrets, they may also have secrets of their own that they guard fiercely. This makes them skilled negotiators and businesspeople, particularly in fields involving finances, taxes, insurance, and inheritance matters. Many successful financial analysts and tax consultants have this placement, as they possess an innate ability to handle joint wealth and hidden assets. In relationships, Mercury in the 8th house individuals tend to be intense and private. They are not open books and often withhold certain aspects of their personality even from those closest to them. In romantic relationships, they seek deep intellectual connections and prefer partners who can engage them in thought-provoking discussions. They may not be the most expressive lovers, but they have a way of forming profound psychological bonds with their partners. If Mercury is afflicted, however, trust issues may arise, leading to secrecy, misunderstandings, and even deception in relationships. This placement also influences relationships with in-laws. Mercury in the 8th house often indicates good communication with the spouse's family. These individuals may frequently engage in discussions with in-laws, and in some cases, they may play the role of a mediator in family matters. However, if Mercury is poorly placed, there may be conflicts or hidden tensions in these relationships. A notable characteristic of Mercury in the 8th house is the tendency to attract gossip and speculation. Others may be deeply curious about their lives, often spreading rumors or making assumptions about them. These individuals may experience situations where they are misunderstood or misrepresented, leading to unnecessary drama. Their secretive nature only fuels others' curiosity, making them subjects of intrigue. This is especially true if Mercury is in a sign like Scorpio or Capricorn, which naturally intensifies secrecy and power dynamics. Financial intelligence is another hallmark of this placement. Since the 8th house governs joint assets, inheritances, and hidden wealth, Mercury's presence bestows the native with the ability to handle finances with precision. These individuals excel in fields like investment banking, stock market trading, and insurance. If Mercury is well placed, they may receive unexpected financial gains through inheritances, business deals, or joint ventures. However, if Mercury is afflicted, there is a risk of financial losses due to deception, fraud, or mismanagement of resources. They must be cautious when dealing with financial matters and avoid impulsive decisions, especially in speculative markets. Speech and communication are deeply affected by Mercury's placement in the 8th house. These individuals may have a distinctive speaking style, either very persuasive or highly reserved. If Mercury is afflicted, there can be speech-related issues such as stuttering, anxiety in public speaking, or difficulty expressing thoughts clearly. They often prefer written communication over verbal interaction, as it allows them to articulate their ideas more effectively. This placement can also indicate a mind prone to overthinking, leading to unnecessary stress and mental exhaustion. Psychologically, Mercury in the 8th house creates a mind that is always evolving. These individuals are constantly analyzing, questioning, and transforming their thought processes. They may go through phases of deep introspection, where they reassess their beliefs and perspectives. If Mercury is conjunct malefic planets like Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu, they may struggle with dark thoughts, depression, or obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Mental health can be a concern, and practices like meditation, therapy, and journaling can be beneficial in managing their complex thoughts. Professionally, Mercury in the 8th house supports careers in research, finance, psychology, counseling, and occult sciences. Many astrologers, tarot readers, forensic scientists, and insurance agents have this placement. Their ability to understand hidden dynamics makes them excellent problem solvers in professions that require deep analysis and discretion. Those with strong Mercury placements may thrive as authors, particularly in genres related to mystery, crime, and thriller novels. One of the most important things for Mercury in the 8th house individuals is learning to balance their deep, analytical minds with emotional awareness. They must be cautious about becoming too skeptical or secretive, as this can create distance in relationships. Learning to trust others while maintaining healthy boundaries is essential for their personal growth. Ultimately, this placement bestows a powerful mind that can either be a great asset or a source of struggle, depending on how it is utilized. When positively channeled, Mercury in the 8th house individuals can become brilliant researchers, insightful counselors, and strategic financial planners. However, if negatively expressed, they may fall into patterns of deception, mistrust, and mental turmoil. By embracing their gift of insight while remaining ethical and open to transformation, they can unlock their full potential and make profound contributions to their chosen fields. When Mercury is positioned in the 9th house of a birth chart in Vedic astrology, it profoundly influences an individual's intellectual and philosophical outlook. This placement signifies a person who is deeply curious about the world, constantly seeking knowledge, and engaging in intellectual discussions on topics such as philosophy, religion, law, ethics, and spirituality. As Mercury governs communication, intellect, learning, and reasoning, its presence in the 9th house, traditionally associated with Jupiter, creates an individual who thrives on exploring new ideas, engaging in debates, and expanding their mental horizons. The 9th house is naturally ruled by Jupiter, which represents higher learning, dharma, righteousness, and long-distance travel. However, Mercury and Jupiter are not traditionally considered friendly planets due to their differing approaches to knowledge. While Jupiter signifies wisdom and divine guidance, Mercury seeks logical reasoning and intellectual analysis. As a result, when Mercury is placed in this house, the native exhibits an analytical approach towards spirituality, religion, and philosophy rather than accepting beliefs blindly. They question existing traditions and only follow those that make logical sense to them. This placement can lead to a highly open-minded and adaptable personality, one that appreciates diverse perspectives and seeks to bridge gaps between different cultures, religions, and ideologies. One of the most defining traits of Mercury in the 9th house is the strong inclination toward education and intellectual pursuits. The native is an avid learner, always eager to expand their knowledge through reading, discussions, and travel. They may pursue multiple academic degrees or certifications and show a particular interest in fields such as law, linguistics, journalism, philosophy, and religious studies. The presence of Mercury also suggests an aptitude for foreign languages, which can make the native proficient in multiple tongues. Their ability to grasp new concepts quickly and articulate them effectively makes them natural teachers, professors, writers, or public speakers. Their love for sharing knowledge can also lead them to careers in media, publishing, and research. Since the 9th house governs long-distance travel and exposure to foreign cultures, Mercury's placement here encourages a strong desire to explore the world. Travel is often linked to education and self-discovery for these individuals. They may travel for higher studies, work in international organizations, or simply be drawn to experiencing different cultures. Mercury's influence makes them adaptable in foreign environments, allowing them to learn from different traditions and apply that knowledge in a practical way. If Mercury is placed in an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the native may have a strong inclination toward global communication, international relations, or digital platforms that allow them to connect with people across the world. As Mercury aspects the third house from the ninth house, the natives' communication skills are strongly emphasized. They enjoy discussing intellectual topics and may have a tendency to share their philosophical insights with others. However, due to Mercury's youthful and playful nature, their communication may sometimes come across as overly casual or even immature. If Mercury is well placed in its own signs of Gemini or Virgo, or in Sagittarius, it enhances their ability to teach and guide others effectively. If afflicted by malefic planets like Rahu or Ketu, their communication style may become overly skeptical, argumentative, or even fanatical about their beliefs. Mercury in the ninth house also shapes the native's spiritual and religious outlook. They may not be blindly devoted to religious dogma but instead prefer to explore multiple belief systems before forming their own philosophy. If Mercury is well placed, particularly in conjunction with Jupiter, the native may have a strong inclination towards spiritual learning, scriptural studies, or even preaching. However, if Mercury is afflicted, the person may struggle with inconsistency in their beliefs, frequently switching between different ideologies or questioning traditional values in a disruptive manner. In extreme cases, they might become overly rigid in their views, attempting to impose their perspective on others. In terms of career, Mercury in the ninth house provides strong intellectual and communication skills, making the native well-suited for professions that involve teaching, writing, law, journalism, diplomacy, and international business. They may excel in careers that involve travel, such as working as a foreign diplomat, travel writer, or interpreter. Their ability to express complex ideas in a simple and engaging manner makes them natural educators, authors, or public speakers. If Mercury is in an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they may take a more pragmatic and structured approach to their profession. In contrast, if Mercury is in a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they may be more dynamic and persuasive in their speech, often inspiring others with their ideas. The presence of Mercury in the ninth house also has a significant impact on personal relationships. The native is likely to seek a partner who is intellectually stimulating and shares their enthusiasm for knowledge and exploration. They enjoy deep conversations with their spouse and may be drawn to someone from a different cultural or religious background. If Mercury is well placed, it can indicate a harmonious relationship based on mutual respect and intellectual compatibility. However, if afflicted, there may be ideological clashes or differences in belief systems that lead to disagreements. One of the key challenges of this placement is the tendency to become overly argumentative or self-righteous. The native may find it difficult to accept opposing viewpoints and might engage in debates simply for the sake of proving themselves right. If Mercury is afflicted, this can lead to conflicts in personal and professional relationships. Another potential issue is inconsistency in academic or career pursuits. Since Mercury is a restless planet, the native may frequently switch interests or struggle with commitment. If Mercury is under the influence of malefic planets like Rahu or Saturn, there could be difficulties in obtaining higher education, facing legal troubles, or experiencing obstacles in foreign travel. Despite these challenges, Mercury in the ninth house is an extremely favorable placement for those who wish to explore the world intellectually, spiritually, and physically. It grants the ability to think critically, communicate effectively, and adapt to new environments. Overall, Mercury in the ninth house creates an individual who is deeply inquisitive, open-minded, and eager to explore the world of ideas. Whether through academia, travel, writing, or teaching, they seek to expand their knowledge and share it with others. This placement fosters intellectual growth, communication skills, and a natural ability to connect with diverse perspectives. If harnessed positively, it can lead to a fulfilling life filled with learning, adventure, and meaningful contributions to society. When Mercury is placed in the 10th house of a birth chart, it significantly influences the native's career, public image, and authority. The 10th house is traditionally associated with profession, reputation, father, and status in society. Mercury, being the planet of intellect, communication, adaptability, and business acumen, brings a dynamic and versatile approach to career and professional life. Individuals with Mercury in the 10th house are highly skilled professionals known for their exceptional communication abilities. They thrive in careers that require networking, analytical thinking, and problem-solving. Due to Mercury's dual nature, such natives rarely stick to a single profession. Instead, they may explore multiple career paths throughout their life. Their adaptability allows them to excel in various industries, especially those related to media, journalism, business, education, and technology. If Mercury is well placed, such individuals gain recognition for their intellect and expertise, often occupying managerial positions. Mercury in this position also indicates an individual who takes on responsibilities in the workplace. These natives are often the driving force behind group projects, ensuring efficiency and meticulous execution. Their perfectionist tendencies lead them to set high standards in their work. However, if Mercury is afflicted, this perfectionism may manifest as fussiness or an inability to delegate tasks effectively. The placement also suggests a natural talent for leadership, where their opinions and decisions are highly valued in their professional environment. They have a knack for handling finances and daily operations, making them excellent managers, financial advisors, and entrepreneurs. This placement of Mercury also impacts the natives' interaction with authority figures, including their father. They likely share a communicative and intellectual bond with their father, where discussions revolve around career, success, and worldly matters. Mercury's aspect on the 4th house indicates a lively and communicative home environment. The native may have a strong relationship with their mother, engaging in meaningful conversations and discussions. If Mercury is afflicted, however, there could be misunderstandings or differences in perspectives with parents. Career-wise, Mercury's influence in the 10th house makes it challenging to pinpoint a specific profession, as it governs a wide range of fields. The native's exact career path can be determined by the sign Mercury is placed in, the nakshatra it occupies, and the houses it rules in the chart. For example, if Mercury is in Gemini, the native may pursue a career in journalism or media. If in Virgo, corporate jobs, business, or data analysis become likely options. A placement in Aquarius may incline the individual towards scientific research, technology, or engineering, whereas a Pisces Mercury might lead them toward counseling or creative writing. This placement also indicates a strong public image. The native is perceived as intelligent, articulate, and resourceful, often sought after for advice or leadership roles. They have a unique ability to influence others through their speech and ideas. This makes them suitable for careers in law, politics, sales, and public speaking. If Mercury is afflicted, however, they may face scandals or reputation damage due to miscommunication or deception. The strength of Mercury determines whether the native's reputation will be built on intellectual prowess or affected by rumors and misunderstandings. Mercury in the 10th house also enhances financial prospects. The individual is likely to earn money through intellect-driven work such as consulting, freelancing, trading, or writing. Multiple sources of income are possible, especially if Mercury is in a strong position. A well-placed Mercury ensures financial stability and strategic money management, whereas an afflicted Mercury may result in instability due to frequent career changes or poor investment decisions. In personal life, Mercury in the 10th house suggests a career-focused individual who may sometimes neglect family responsibilities. Their relationships thrive on intellectual compatibility, and they prefer a partner who is equally ambitious and communicative. If Mercury is positively aspect, they manage a balance between work and personal life. However, if afflicted, their dedication to work may lead to conflicts in marriage due to lack of attention or misunderstandings. Despite their many strengths, natives with Mercury in the 10th house may face certain challenges. Their restless nature may lead to frequent job changes or an inability to commit to a single profession. They may struggle with decision-making, especially when presented with multiple career opportunities. Workplace conflicts, miscommunication, or gossip can also create obstacles in their professional journey. If Mercury is under the influence of malefic planets like Rahu or Ketu, the native may indulge in manipulation or unethical practices, leading to legal troubles. To make the most of Mercury's placement, continuous learning and skill enhancement are essential. Since Mercury thrives on knowledge, staying updated with industry trends and acquiring new skills can significantly boost career growth. Engaging in intellectually stimulating activities and networking with like-minded individuals can open doors to greater professional opportunities. Maintaining ethical integrity in communication and business dealings will prevent potential setbacks caused by misinformation or deception. The influence of Saturn in the 10th house also plays a role in how Mercury manifests its effects. If Mercury is well supported by Saturn, the native becomes highly methodical, responsible, and diligent in their work. However, if Saturn suppresses Mercury's qualities, the individual may procrastinate or feel overwhelmed by career-related responsibilities. Another important factor to consider is the influence of the 6th and 8th houses on Mercury in the 10th house. The 6th house represents daily work routines, competition, and service, while the 8th house deals with transformation and hidden matters. If Mercury has a strong connection with these houses, the native may work in professions related to health, research, occult sciences, or crisis management. A weak or afflicted Mercury linked to these houses may cause struggles in workplace dynamics, health issues due to stress, or unexpected career disruptions. Spiritual and remedial measures can help strengthen Mercury's positive influence in the 10th house. Engaging in activities that promote clarity of thought, such as meditation, journaling, or public speaking, can enhance Mercury's beneficial qualities. Respecting elders, particularly father figures and mentors, can also improve career prospects. Charity work related to education, orphanages, or tree plantations can help balance Mercury's energy. Overall, Mercury in the 10th house bestows the native with intelligence, adaptability, and excellent communication skills, making them well-suited for dynamic and versatile careers. They excel in professions that require intellect, networking, and analytical thinking. While they enjoy public recognition and professional success, their restless nature and perfectionist tendencies may pose challenges in stability and work-life balance. By continuously learning, maintaining ethical integrity, and nurturing their relationships with authority figures, they can harness Mercury's positive attributes and achieve long-term career success and personal fulfillment. Mercury in the 11th house of a birth chart brings a unique blend of intelligence, communication skills, and social adaptability to an individual's life. The 11th house is traditionally associated with friendships, large organizations, networking, and financial gains. When Mercury, the planet of intellect and speech, is positioned here, it enhances the individual's ability to interact effectively with others, leading to success through social connections, intellectual pursuits, and multiple streams of income. This placement fosters a curious, dynamic, and forward-thinking mindset, allowing the individual to thrive in fields that require strategy, adaptability, and articulate communication. One of the most notable characteristics of this placement is an individual's ability to form meaningful friendships and professional relationships. These people are naturally sociable and tend to attract intellectual and witty companions who share their curiosity about the world. They enjoy exchanging ideas, engaging in debates, and discussing various subjects with their peers. Their social circles often consist of individuals who are well-read, knowledgeable, or involved in academic and technological fields. Because Mercury governs communication, this placement also indicates that friendships may be maintained through online interactions, emails, or text messages, and they may have a strong digital presence. Professionally, Mercury in the 11th house offers numerous advantages. These individuals are excellent at networking and forming strategic alliances that can lead to financial gains. Their ability to communicate effectively makes them well-suited for careers in business, marketing, public relations, writing, and consulting. They can also excel in technology-related fields such as data analysis, artificial intelligence, and digital marketing. With their calculative skills and business acumen, they are likely to engage in multiple ventures simultaneously. Many individuals with this placement find themselves drawn to entrepreneurship, as they have an innate ability to recognize profitable opportunities and capitalize on them through collaboration and strategic planning. Another key aspect of Mercury's presence in this house is its influence on financial matters. The 11th house represents gains, and Mercury's intelligence ensures that these individuals are smart about managing their earnings. They are likely to have multiple sources of income and may find financial success through communication-related careers, trading, investments, or technological advancements. Their logical and analytical approach allows them to make informed financial decisions, and if Mercury is well placed, they can become excellent financial advisors, investment planners, or stock market analysts. However, if Mercury is afflicted by malefic planets, they should be cautious about financial scams, deceptive business dealings, and unreliable friendships that may lead to losses. Since Mercury aspects the 5th house from the 11th house, this placement also has a strong impact on creativity, intelligence, and romantic relationships. Individuals with this placement have a natural love for learning and continuously seek new knowledge through books, courses, or engaging discussions. Their hobbies often involve intellectual activities such as writing, debating, or learning new skills. They are also very expressive in love, preferring partners who share their intellectual curiosity and enthusiasm for communication. If they have children, they maintain an open and interactive relationship with them, encouraging them to pursue knowledge and creative activities. Despite its many positive attributes, Mercury in the 11th house also comes with certain challenges. One of the primary concerns is the influence of friendships on the individual's life. Since Mercury is easily influenced by its surroundings, these individuals may adopt the mindset and habits of their social circle. If they surround themselves with positive and knowledgeable people, they will flourish. However, if they fall into the wrong company, they may be misled or manipulated. This is particularly relevant when Mercury is afflicted by malefic planets such as Rahu or Ketu, which can lead to deception, financial fraud, or unstable friendships. Another challenge of this placement is the tendency to take on too many tasks at once. Mercury's restless nature makes these individuals highly energetic and curious about multiple subjects. While this can be beneficial, it can also lead to a scattered focus, making it difficult to achieve long-term goals. They may struggle with decision-making, especially when presented with numerous career opportunities or investment options. To counteract this, they should develop a structured approach to their ambitions and avoid making impulsive decisions. These individuals must be mindful of how they use their communication skills. Since Mercury is a planet of speech and articulation, they can easily persuade others and gain influence in social settings. However, if Mercury is afflicted, they may become overly talkative, manipulative, or prone to gossip. It is important for them to use their verbal skills responsibly and avoid misleading others for personal gain. Ethical communication and integrity will ensure long-term success and credibility. One of the lesser-known influences of Mercury in the 11th house is its potential impact on physical appearance. Mercury's placement in the 11th house can indicate the presence of moles or beauty marks on the ankles, shins, and calves. If Mercury is strong, the individual may also have a youthful and energetic appearance, as Mercury represents agility and quick thinking. Another important factor to consider is the individual's overall planetary alignment. Since the 11th house is connected to desires and fulfillment, the presence of other planets in this house, as well as Mercury's aspects and conjunctions, will modify the results. For example, if Mercury is placed alongside a benefic planet like Jupiter, it enhances wisdom and good fortune in networking and financial growth. If it is influenced by Saturn, the person may take a more disciplined and structured approach to their ambitions, but they might also face delays in achieving their goals. If Rahu is present, there may be an increased inclination towards digital businesses, social media influence, or unconventional methods of making money. To make the most of this placement, individuals should focus on leveraging their communication skills in a constructive manner. They should actively seek positive and knowledgeable mentors, surround themselves with intellectual peers, and engage in continuous learning. Since Mercury governs logic and intellect, honing their analytical abilities will help them make sound financial and professional decisions. They should also practice mindfulness in speech and avoid getting entangled in unnecessary conflicts or deceptive dealings. Mercury in the 11th house is an excellent placement for those who aspire to achieve financial success through intellectual pursuits, networking, and communication-based careers. It blesses individuals with an inquisitive mind, strong social skills, and a natural ability to connect with influential people. Their success largely depends on their ability to harness Mercury's quick-witted nature in a disciplined and strategic manner. By maintaining ethical standards, choosing their social circles wisely, and staying committed to continuous learning, they can maximize the positive potential of this placement and achieve great heights in their personal and professional lives. Mercury in the 12th house of a birth chart creates a deeply introspective and intuitive individual whose thoughts are often hidden beneath layers of secrecy and abstraction. This placement fosters an enigmatic personality, where the person may not easily reveal what they truly think or feel. The 12th house, being the house of loss, seclusion, spirituality, and foreign connections, greatly influences Mercury's function of intellect and communication, making the individual more inclined towards solitude, imagination, and contemplation rather than overt expression. One of the most striking characteristics of Mercury in the 12th house is the tendency for internal dialogue rather than external communication. Such individuals may struggle with articulating their thoughts, often finding it easier to express themselves through writing rather than speaking. Their minds are constantly active, filled with chaotic thoughts that may sometimes seem disconnected from reality. This makes them excellent poets, authors, and philosophers, as they can beautifully weave abstract and imaginative ideas into words. Their affinity for solitude enables them to focus deeply on intellectual pursuits, often leading them towards spirituality, psychology, and mysticism. Mercury in the 12th house also makes one highly intuitive. They have an uncanny ability to perceive things beyond the obvious, often picking up on the hidden motives of others. This can make them skilled at research, investigation, and even spiritual counseling. They are naturally drawn to the metaphysical and the subconscious areas, making them interested in astrology, the occult, and psychology. Their intuition can guide them towards making insightful judgments, but if Mercury is afflicted, it can also lead to overthinking and mental confusion. Despite their intellectual depth, these individuals may struggle with forgetfulness and disorganization. Their minds operate in a fluid, dreamlike state, making it difficult to retain structured or detailed information. They may frequently lose track of time, misplace important documents, or struggle with practical decision-making. If Mercury is afflicted, this placement may also indicate a tendency towards escapism, where the individual might indulge in excessive daydreaming or, in extreme cases, turn to substance abuse as a means of avoiding reality. Financially, Mercury in the 12th house can indicate both gains and losses, particularly from foreign sources. The individual may earn through international trade, foreign employment, or spiritual professions. However, there is also a tendency for careless spending or financial mismanagement. The subconscious connection with the house of losses means that one must be extra cautious with investments and monetary decisions. If well placed, Mercury can indicate success in offshore businesses, import-export industries, and foreign diplomacy. However, if afflicted, it can lead to unexpected financial losses, fraud, or misguided investments. In terms of career, Mercury in the 12th house is highly beneficial for professions related to writing, spirituality, psychology, and research. Many poets, novelists, and screenwriters have this placement, as it fuels a vivid imagination and a deep understanding of human nature. Those in the field of psychology or psychiatry may find success in analyzing the subconscious mind and helping individuals with hidden traumas. Individuals with this placement may excel in foreign affairs, diplomacy, or intelligence-related jobs, as they can navigate complex, hidden networks with ease. If Mercury is well aspect, these individuals may find themselves thriving in roles that require secrecy, analysis, and abstract thinking. In relationships, these individuals tend to be reserved and private. They may find it difficult to express their emotions openly, preferring to keep their thoughts and feelings hidden. This can sometimes lead to misunderstandings in personal relationships, as their partners may struggle to understand their true intentions. They are naturally drawn to intellectual and spiritual individuals who can match their depth of thought. If Mercury is afflicted, there may be a tendency to deceive or manipulate in relationships, either intentionally or unintentionally. Transparency and open communication are crucial for them to maintain healthy, fulfilling connections. Mercury in the 12th house also influences one's approach to spirituality and higher knowledge. These individuals often have a profound interest in meditation, philosophy, and esoteric wisdom. They may spend a significant portion of their lives searching for deeper truths, often retreating into solitude to explore their inner worlds. This placement can also indicate a strong karmic connection to past lives, where the individual may have been a monk, mystic, or scholar. Their spiritual journey often involves overcoming illusions and gaining mental clarity through introspection and disciplined thought. One unique characteristic of Mercury in the 12th house is its influence on hidden talents. The 12th house governs the subconscious mind and unexplored potential, which means that these individuals may not immediately recognize their own intellectual gifts. Often, their abilities in writing, psychology, or spirituality are realized later in life, particularly during Mercury's Mahadasha or Antardasha. They may also find that their best ideas come to them in solitude, through dreams, or moments of deep contemplation. However, challenges do exist with this placement. The tendency towards secrecy and introspection can sometimes make these individuals socially withdrawn or misunderstood. They may feel disconnected from mainstream society and struggle with articulating their thoughts clearly. This can lead to a sense of isolation or loneliness, as they find it difficult to relate to others on a superficial level. If Mercury is negatively aspected by malefic planets like Rahu or Saturn, it can cause chronic anxiety, deceptive tendencies, or issues with communication. To mitigate the negative effects of Mercury in the 12th house, individuals should focus on developing structured thinking and clear communication. Engaging in practices like journaling, meditation, and disciplined study can help harness the power of their deep intellect. Involvement in charitable activities, particularly those that help the less fortunate, can bring positive karmic rewards and balance the energy of the 12th house. Acts of service, especially in spiritual or educational fields, can help them align their mental faculties with a higher purpose. Mercury's aspect on the 6th house also plays a crucial role in how these individuals handle conflicts and challenges. The 6th house governs disputes, diseases, and daily work routines. Mercury's influence here can indicate a tendency to resolve conflicts through intellect, diplomacy, and spiritual insight rather than direct confrontation. However, it can also make one prone to overthinking health-related issues or becoming overly analytical about minor problems. If afflicted, Mercury's placement can lead to stress-related illnesses, requiring the individual to focus on mental well-being through meditation and relaxation techniques. Overall, Mercury in the 12th house is a placement of depth, introspection, and intellectual subtlety. While it poses challenges in communication and practical decision-making, it also bestows immense creative and intuitive abilities. These individuals thrive when they embrace solitude, explore their subconscious mind, and channel their thoughts into writing, research, or spiritual pursuits. By cultivating clarity, discipline, and structured communication, they can unlock the immense potential of this placement and make meaningful contributions to both intellectual and spiritual areas. As we conclude this episode, please remember that these insights are based on Sidereal or Vedic Astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference from the tropical zodiac. Individual predictions may vary, as every birth chart is unique. It's essential to consider your own birth chart when applying these general predictions to your personal circumstances. If you'd like personalized predictions or have questions about your astrological chart, feel free to reach out to us. Stay tuned for more astrological updates. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful astrology content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to sharing more astrological wisdom with you in the future. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining bright.